This has to be one of the most unusual consumer cameras ever to be released. Besides having a rotating body and AF lasers, the camera has freaking headlights and can see in the dark. This is the Sony F-717, a camera released in 2002. How does it work and is it any good? Let me explain. When you switch the camera into the special night shot mode, the camera moves the hot mirror filter off the sensor, allowing the camera to capture infrared light. As if that isn't cool enough, the camera then flicks on these two lights on the front of the lens, which produce infrared light, allowing you to see in the dark. Sony calls these infrared ray emitters. I'm calling them headlights because that's what they look like. To the naked eye, all you see is a faint red glow coming from these headlights, but to an infrared sensitive camera, this is what it looks like. And at this point in the video, I'm just curious, comment below if you can think of a weirder camera than this. But just wait, because it gets weirder. The infrared headlights on the front of the camera are pretty bright, but you do need to be relatively close to your subject to get good enough illumination. Whether that's trees, people, dead people, Sony says up to 4.5 meters and suggests subjects such as camp scenes or nocturnal plants and animals. Once you're close enough to your subject, you can get clear pictures in pitch black darkness. And this works in video mode too. Yeah, the video quality isn't great on this thing. It's capped out at 320 by 240, but that only makes it easier for you to claim paranormal activity in your footage. And I don't know about you, but I think it looks pretty dang cool. And there's more weirdness to this camera. You may have noticed this third hole on the front of the lens. Sony calls this the hologram AF emitter, but I'm calling it a laser canyon because what it does is it throws out a laser grid to assist the autofocus in low light. Next time you're at a low lit party, you can bust this thing out and really start the rave. Speaking of party tricks, the body does this. Sony had a run of several cameras that I may or may not own most of, that have very untraditional body designs that rotate. But I'm sticking by the rotating body thing as the most practical and comfortable alternative design out there. It's surprisingly intuitive and actually much nicer than just articulating a screen. The lens is a Carl Zeiss branded 38 to 190mm equivalent zoom with a handful of controls on the side of the lens, because that's how you hold the camera. If that 38mm is too narrow for you, you can get one of these conversion lens adapters to take it to a much nicer 26mm equivalent and just look like an awesome boss overall. You can, of course, take normal non-infrared sensitive photos with this camera by shooting it in any other mode. And using a powerful magnet hack, which I outlined in my Sony F-828 video, you can shoot infrared photography in any mode and any lighting scenario for some really cool effects. The best part of all this is this camera only costs $30 on eBay, making it potentially the cheapest entry point into infrared photography. But the very best camera in this series with infrared capability and a one-off sensor is the Sony F-828, and you should hear what I have to say about it in this next video. I'll see you over there, and until next time, happy snapping.